We're gonna talk about a topic on the show today that most people are scared to touch. I've got the gasoline, I've got the matches. We're gonna expose what happened on this hunt. We came up with 5 rules for surviving a bad guided hunt.
It's a beautiful day in Central Florida.
This is an unknown place, unknown guide service. I'm not digging it. Dude is parked right across the hayfield with his lights on. I'm sure that didn't affect the deer movement at all. So all the deer spook, and I look down to my right. He had no business being up there. All my red flag suspicions were confirmed. This is gonna be a problem. Now, I really wanted to hunt this deer, but I don't think our guide wanted me to hunt him. Well, I'm ready to get some killing done. So then a borderline shooter starts working his way in, and he gets right into like 15 yards.
He's coming in here right now. 15 minutes of shooting light left. We got a doe down anyway. Feels like we came all the way out to South Dakota to do something I could have done in the backyard in Virginia.
Well, I'm mean as gravel, I'm poor as dirt. And I like things better the way they were. Well, I'm strong in the head, but I get things done. I spend too much money to have a little fun. Come on. So can you love me like I am? Can you love me, baby, like I am? Yeah.
All right, boys and girls, this week we're gonna be heading out to the frozen land of South Dakota for a mule deer hunt. We're really excited to be going out there. This will be my first spot and stalk back since I took some time off, and I'm really pumped about it, but the hunt has a few twists and turns. It doesn't quite go the way that we wanted it to. We're gonna try to make the best out of a bad situation and at least provide an educational piece of information for you guys to take home with you when you're going on your next guided hunt. We came up with 5 rules for surviving a bad guided hunt. So this week we're gonna try to keep it light and fun because you know what? We were out in beautiful South Dakota. It's a gorgeous state, a lot of great hunting out there. We got to meet some good people and then some people that we just didn't mesh well with as far as hunting. We had different hunting styles and different hunting tactics. It was like he sucked really bad at it and I was super good at it, so we just didn't mesh well.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on?
I know more than you.
All right.
So the 5 rules that I came up with for a hunt are as follows. So the first one is manage expectations from the beginning. Have basic etiquette is number 2. 3 is tell the truth or at least don't lie. And 4 is check your ego. 5, and maybe the most important one, is know when to pull the ripcord. These are gonna get you a good start and they're definitely gonna tell you some of the bigger things to avoid and how to identify them early enough so you don't waste your whole time following some knucklehead around the wilderness. So I drive out to South Dakota. Colton comes out there to meet me. This is an unknown place, unknown guide service, and I'm guilty of breaking the first rule in this situation as the hunter. I didn't get on the phone to try to manage expectations and communicate as much as I should have. So I don't get a real good vibe meeting this guy, and then he jumps right to wanting me to shoot my bow.
So let's do this before it gets dark, man. You mind throwing one or two?
Oh yeah. He kept asking me to, you gonna shoot your bow now? You gonna shoot your bow? I mean, it was pretty aggressive. I was like, yep, I always check my bow whenever I come to camp. Like, why are you in my face? The way to do it is say, hey guys, there's the range right there. I require everybody to check their zero and shoot their bow a few times to make sure everything made the trip. I'll be right inside. Then you watch them out of the window, or you sit back in the background, or you do it nonchalant. You just chill in the background. You don't make them feel like, I'm watching your every move. Now, I'm not saying I'm somebody, but I've got 16 years worth of HD video that proves I can shoot pretty daggone good. We go to bed that night and we kind of shook off the initial wasn't such a great first impression, but we're excited to be in South Dakota and we're looking forward to getting out there and chasing these mule deer. The first morning we get up, it's socked in, foggy. So we get to a point and we're glassing and talking a little bit, and he's saying, that he's been watching certain deer and they're doing this every morning or every evening or whatever the case may be. Come to find out, that was the scouting report that another guide had in September. It's not September anymore. You know, the first lie of a handful of lies has already been told, and that brings us to tell the truth, or at least don't lie. But you should not ever intentionally lie to your client. I don't care what the reason is. You're trying to make them feel better. You're trying to make more optimism. Don't intentionally lie to them. So we decide, or he decides, that we're gonna go whitetail hunting this evening because the winds are gonna be howling. It is gonna be bad conditions. It's gonna be tough to spot and stalk, but that's what we came here to do. So as an alternate, we're going to this little low ground in this tree stand to hunt some whitetails. This wasn't going in the right direction.
All right, here you are, Mr. Campbell. It took me just 2 weeks.
What is this?
It's the new semi-non-binary.
Did you bedazzle his eye?
Yes, and that's an upcharge.
Thanks. You wouldn't trust your trophy to an amateur, so why hang it like one? Get a full-range hanging system. These Vortex lenses are 100% blood diamonds.
No, they're not.
Oh man, look at that red-tailed hawk on Jupiter.
What?
With Vortex, you can see the game warden before he sees you.
Are you serious
Cut the
again?
camera off. I don't know whose property this is, man. We gotta get out of here.
We get settled into the stand, and I notice dude is parked right across the hayfield with his lights on. We're waiting for deer to come out in this field. He's parked right there so he can keep an eye on us. I'm sure that didn't affect the deer movement at all. So needless to say, we saw a few deer out in the alfalfa that night, but we didn't get a shot at anything. So we headed back into camp to try to make a plan to hopefully mule deer hunt the next day.
All right, man. So far, we don't have any snow pouring down on us, but as you can see, it's like visibility very limited. Maybe an advantage, like getting close to them, but we'll see.
So the second day we head out, and apparently our plan was to walk across a bunch of open country and bump deer. But still, I don't know this place. I don't know the lay of the land. I don't know what he's got in his mind to do next. We're then glassing the valley that we just walked right beside, where everything could probably see us in it. We see some deer run off, and this dude walks over and just walks up to the edge overlooking this big creek. And of course, the only buck we saw all day then spooks when he walks out there. So it's a fun trip. No tension building here. And so we hike back to the truck, and we're back at camp trying to put a plan together for the evening. And I was like, hey man, there's a bunch of whitetail out in this field, and you can shoot whitetail does. So I asked if it would be cool if me and Colton grab my recurve and go on a stalk down this creek bottom. There's a dry creek that runs behind the house. I guess this dude thought I didn't know what a whitetail doe looked like, because he's leading the charge down this ditch. We get to the pond dam. He said, yeah, hey, a lot of times these deer bed on the other side of this pond dam. Rock and roll, baby. Thanks for the intel. Now take yourself and get at the back of the line and get out of my way so I can go shoot a deer. Simple. It's Hunter Guide 101. Instead of that happening, Super Guide runs up the bank, looks, sees deer, makes all kind of noise coming back down the pond dam, walks past me and says they're right there. As soon as I start my stalk, I hear our guide walking down the pond dam. So all the deer spook, and I look down to my right, and there he is, standing there glassing the deer. He had no business being up there. He has to be the first guy, the guy in the front. He's got to be the one that sees everything that's going on. Ego, complete, total ego problem. All my red flag suspicions were confirmed. This is gonna be a problem. So now the snow is absolutely coming down. The temperature is dropping. We're walking through the snow. We get to a little vantage point. We sneak up to the edge, and all of a sudden, a giant whitetail buck steps out. So we're watching this buck, and he's pushing the doe around. Now, I really wanted to hunt this deer, but I don't think our guide wanted me to hunt him. So instead of going back in there the next day, we went and did something else. I don't know what we did. I mean, we walked around a lot and didn't see any big bucks. All right, that next morning, it was freezing cold, but it was absolutely gorgeous out.
Well, it's a beautiful day in Central Florida. Let's get after it.
So we're coming back out and we're glassing, and we spot a group of deer. We decide, hey, we're gonna go stalk up on those deer and just see if there's a buck in the group somewhere with them. We're in bow range of these deer, and I hear something behind me, and all of a sudden the does just blow out of there. I look up, he's standing in the wide open where all the deer can see him above us, looking down at the deer. And now they're spooked and running out of the valley, and he goes, "Yep, no bucks with them." So there's all kind of personality disorders that you could break down and on the hunter side and the guide side that just makes for not a good combination. If you find yourself with a show enough narcissist, pull the ripcord. Done deal. Need to be out of there as soon as possible. If you can get your money back and get out of there.
Limit eliminates human odor using nanotechnology. What if it becomes self-aware and takes over the world?
No. That's just how it eliminates odor at the molecular level.
Tell that to Sarah Connor.
Who?
Terminator, iRobot, The Matrix.
Just gets rid of the odor from the dead skin cells.
It's got aloe in it. If you want great results in anything, form is critical. Go long, son. And taxidermy is no different. That's why the only form I use comes from Ohio Taxidermy Supply. It's a pretty sweet looking albino doe. I wonder how she lost her ears.
So at this point, I pretty much know that me and this guy have irreconcilable differences as to our approach, our style, and our general philosophy on how to approach a spot and stalk hunt. So we decided to go back down to the whitetail spot to hunt in this little river bottom. Colton and I had an idea about how to get the wind right and maybe kill a deer down in this alfalfa field, or at least in the transition area from bedding to food. And we decided we were going to take a pop-up blind down there, and for some reason our guide just had to come with us. Whatever, that's fine, he can walk in there with us, it's his place. So the peculiar choice for the evening is he brings some tent stakes and a hammer. Just before that, he talked to us about how quiet me and Colton were going to have to be if we went down in here. Gotcha. Me and Colton need to be quiet, but you're holding tent stakes and a hammer. Me and Colton need to be quiet, carry the two, but you're holding tent stakes and a hammer. Anyway, got it all brushed in, and finally, me and Colton were actually hunting.
Our setup tonight, we decided to come whitetail hunt because the mule deer hunting has been terrible. So we set up in this little river bottom. So it's not ideal, but it's the only spot we can really get into without bumping all the deer out of this pocket of woods. And we got a fawn right now, about this pike and a doe across the river.
Well, I ain't trying to be no jerk. It's just that I just got off from work. And I know you'd like to bend my...
So ironically enough, in the whitetail spot, a great big old muley comes out and starts wrecking this tree. This is the most fun I've had the whole entire trip so far. We're really doing it, huh, here? So unfortunately that mule deer doesn't walk by us, but here comes some does. At this point, I don't care if it's a spot and stalk mule deer or a ground blind and a doe. I'm ready to get some killing done. I turn the arrow loose, hits the doe, it looks like perfect, but she acted a little bit weird. Sometimes the deer will act weird. It acted like it was just gonna walk it off, so I said, no ma'am. I followed rule number 2, but this time it's for surviving Zombieland, and that's the double tap, which you should always do. You need to shoot the deer until it's compliant.
We got a doe down anyway. Feels like we came all the way out to South Dakota to do something I could have done in the backyard of Virginia, but consolation prize is a consolation prize. All right, I'm gonna gut her, dude. I'm gonna gut her. Oh, did she broke her neck? Or there's another. Oh no, that's my broadhead. Oh.
Yeah.
From the rooter to the tutor, I did make a great shot. I was like, I hit her a little low. No, I freaking smoked her right through. I put it through her butthole, through her heart. Actually, through her back leg and through her heart. Right here, look at this, mega meat. Went the entire length of her body, and it's just poking, almost poking out of the skin. From the rooter to the tutor. From the tutor to the rooter. Ooh. That's not gonna be a fun one to clean.
Whoa, you do exist. Nah, I'm good, man. I don't eat that processed stuff. I only eat carnivore snacks made with salt and meat, and it's delicious. Hang on one second. It's blurry. How come Hey! SKB cases are so tough, you'll be tougher just by owning one. Hit me with that shovel.
I don't think that's...
Just do it!
Okay.
All right, we gotta do it again.
Oh, your face.
I didn't mean in the face.
Oh, babe.
What?
We're missing some teeth.
So we killed a doe. We actually drew blood. I didn't think it was gonna happen on this hunt, but we drew blood, and we decided we just want to go hunt this river bottom. We had a nice peaceful hunt down there, beautiful scenery, good deer coming through there. So this time we left the ground blind behind and we pushed into the transition area just a little bit more like where a couple of the bigger deer had been crossing the day before.
All right, y'all. We're rocking and rolling on the last night of South Dakota. I mean, this is awesome, man. This is what bow hunting's all about. On the ground, just be a killer and have fun and get after them. That's what we're doing. We had a bad week. Weather was terrible. Other things didn't go our way, but you know what, man? That's life. So me and Colton are out there getting after it. I like our little blind.
So tomorrow is Freedom Day from this hunt. This is our last day, and me and Colton really don't care at this point, honestly. We had turkeys all around us, and I started gobbling at these turkeys and messing with them, and it turned into a turkey tornado.
Tornado, and I'll never come back again.
My little turkey tornado, gobbling away again. So then, we still got like 15 minutes of shooting light left, and deer are coming by us. Like deer on the other side of the bedding area, heading across the river, possibly gonna walk in front of us on the trail. And we see the dude's pickup truck driving on the other side of the field, coming to pick us up.
Dude, here's this guy. He's coming in here right now. 15 minutes of shooting light left, or more.
So then a borderline shooter starts working his way in, and he gets right into like 15 yards. But it's that time of day where we've got about 5 minutes at this point of legal shooting light left. And, you know, I felt pretty confident that I could have made the shot, but the last thing I want to do is wound a deer in general. And then also on top of that, I don't want to be on a wounded deer with this Yahoo.
My desire to kill didn't get the better of me for once in my life. Because, dude, I had all three of my pins on him, 20, 30, and 40. Like, they were on him, but I was like, God, I can't see the obstruction. Last thing I wanted was arrow to dink off a limb I couldn't see and go into his guts. Can you imagine blood trailing a gut shot deer with Captain Wow?
So I don't know if y'all learned anything from this show or not. It was kind of a venting session for me, but I really did want to learn y'all something on this one because I've had bad experiences, but the overwhelming majority of my experiences have been good. You're not always going to meet somebody that your philosophies sync up, and sometimes it doesn't mean that one is right and the other one's wrong. You just might not agree, but I can tolerate those kind of people, you know, and And I can even tolerate this kind of person if we're all upfront and honest about what our skill level is, what our intentions are, how we need to communicate. This is the kind of thing that could save people a ton of money and save them a ton of time. So I protected everybody's identity in this deal, and I didn't want anybody coming after them or talking trash to them or anything. I'm not looking to get revenge. I would like to get my money back, but you know what? I got my money's worth out of building this show around helping people, and hopefully you guys can learn from my experience. And you know what? If that's the case, it's worth my price of admission. It's worth my education fee to help somebody out, because I really do want to help people avoid that situation, and not only help people avoid that situation, but be better in those situations. Some of these things, we've all made certain ones of these mistakes, and we can do it better in the future. Peace.